How's it going? Appreciate you guys coming out. Just open up for questions, I guess. Questions, right?
Hey, now that you're in training camp, obviously you want to see all the players develop and grow, but simultaneously you guys start thinking about orders. So when you think about the things that become separators between 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, what are the things that you zero in on over the next 2 or 3 weeks?
Well, that's great. I think that's a great question because, we got here, we're trying to lay the foundation, right, of how we're going to hold accountability off the field, right? And then we get into mat drills and spring workouts, winter workouts, and then spring ball, lay the foundation of what we expect moving for camp. And I think now we're really into the detail part, right? We're really trying to make sure that not only are we running the ball with physicality, just talking about the running backs right now, but not only are we running the ball with physicality, but are we going to be detailed in ball security? Are we going to be detailed in pass protection, right? Making sure that everything we do is applicable to the game and what we're doing to prepare us for the season. So the details right now is really the biggest thing that we're really trying to set set in front. And speaking from my room, and basically the other thing is I think we need to really mimic what the head coach's vision is, which is all our vision is we need to learn how to earn it, right? We got to earn our way and earn our respect here, and it starts with running the ball, in my opinion.
How do you track physicality, ball security, and pass protection? How do you track the first one?
Well,
eyeball or?
Basically when we play, for us, for Nebraska football, we're going to run the ball with the line mindset. What that means is everything we do, we're going to attack with the line demeanor. And you wake up a lion, and you do lion things, right? And a lion just makes sure if he's going to hunt, if he doesn't kill, he doesn't eat, right? So that's the reality of how we want to run the football. Everything we do needs to be with a physical intent, and we want to dominate every rep, right? And we're going to fight, and goes back into that theme I'm talking about of earning every single yard, right? And that's really the representation of our brand this camp, is really earning their respect and earning every inch. And I think that starts with running the ball with a level of dominance upon tackles. The other thing is, too, on pass protection, right? We want to make sure that we're setting the tone for pass protection. We don't want to be collecting the defense or collecting a defender upon contact. We want to have a great base and make sure that we deliver a strike that is setting the tone to who we are as a brand, which is Lions.
How have you seen Anthony work at kind of feeling out the run blocking? You framed it really well in a radio interview recently, but how have you seen him put the effort into getting better at that?
The best thing now that I'm noticing is he's starting to, as he comes back to the huddle when he makes a mistake, or not I wouldn't say a mistake, when he misses a read, he's already starting to see it himself, right? And the biggest thing is the film room, right? You get to slow things down for him, and you make a fast error, but you get to see it on film slow, right? So he's already starting to respond when he starts to see things, when he's starting to miss things on the field, but also starting to see it on the film room. So he's really responding well to really kind of understanding the playbook, understanding where the ball's supposed to be, and what we're supposed to do with the ball when we get there.
Yeah. As you stand here right now, do you have a good idea of what your pecking order is going to be in game one, or do you keep an open mind?
I think ultimately, Coach Rule, right now, we're not talking about starters right now, right? Right now, we're really going to see who's going to represent the brand of football that we want to put out there against Minnesota, right? So really, we're still in that earn it phase right now, and I think no one's really separated himself as the clear guy, or and the reality is we're going to have to use multiple guys throughout the season. That's the reality. So the biggest thing is the bottom half of our room, we got to make sure is ready to play, right? That's getting Quentin Ives ready to play, getting Emmett Johnson ready to play. When I say bottom half, I'm talking about youth. I'm not talking about a talent. And Trevin Lubin, right, being ready to play. So that's the biggest thing. The other thing is getting those guys prepared for special teams, right? You may carry only 4 or 5 backs, right? Those guys that are on the bottom half of the room need to be solid contributors on special teams on game day. So there's a lot of ththings going on right now we're trying to work through for camp and to get ready for Minnesota.
Are you working with Barthel and Trent at fullback, or is that the tight ends coach?
No, Barrett's fullback, and he's thus far he's done a great job. He's really shown us how smart he is and adapting the playbook very quickly. He's the guy that's showing me that I can rely on him thus far, right? We have a long way to go. Today was our first really padded, really thumping a little bit, so we'll get to see it on tape on how physical he was at the point of contact and things like that. But right now, everything that I'm looking for in a fullback, that Coach Rule and Coach Satter are looking for in a fullback, he has right now, right? So the ability to adjust, physical at the point of contact, athleticism, ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, and basically, if in emergency situations, need to be able to run the football, right? So.
Who else is in that? Who are the other principals in the fullback discussion?
But Janarian Bonner, he's a candidate. He's been used, you know, and Lindenmeyer has shown some things, and Clover. There's some guys that are really trying to really nail the position down, and so we got guys in rotation right now, and I feel pretty confident where we're at with that position.
Did Ramir, did you bulk up in the offseason? It looked like when I saw him, it looked
Yeah.
like he had, and it looked bigger than he had.
Yeah. I think Coach Campbell has done a fantastic job, not only with the size and strength, but also with the mobility. And he's done a fantastic job with our guys. And Ramir's a guy, you can see his body is changing, you know.
What have you seen from Luke and Junior in that room? I mean, it feels like a guy who's not talked about his offense in this spring ball.
Well, you know, I appreciate his effort. That's the number one thing for both those guys that stands out to me is their willingness to do whatever's asked of them. That's a big deal. You know, and you get out there and play some fullback and go out there and have to thump up at the position. That's not an easy thing to do. So for guys that are willing to do that, right, and want to do that and want to produce that, I'm really appreciative of what they want to, you know, of their effort. And that's the biggest thing out of both those guys that I notice is their effort and their willingness to do what's asked to do, what they're asked to do.
Obviously, you want your guys to have strong carries ultimately get into the end zone, but last year the team was one of the lowest in time with possession. Have you stressed to your unit how important it is to keep the defense fresh, extend those drives?
Absolutely. The one thing about the running back position I think that's really important is that every run's not going to be a home run. They got to understand when the things are messy, right? As long as that we know where the ball's supposed to insert, right, and we can force a 4-yard carry, right? Every run's not going to be pretty. Every 6-yard run's not going to be pretty. But the reality is when we run the ball with a certain intent, and we understand where the ball's supposed to be, and we're physical at the point of contact, and we finish with line effort and line demeanor, you know, we expect to collect those 4 or 5-yard runs that aren't pretty, and that puts us in 2nd and 5. That's a good situation. I think I answered your question. That's the emphasis for us right now.
It sounded from you guys in the spring like Gabe did really well. What was your challenge to him about the next thing, though, for him?
I think mentally he's really accepted his daily approach. You know, I think the spring, the one thing was teaching him how to be a guy, right? What I mean by that is like as far as how you prepare for practice, how you take care of your body, right? Your expectations when coming in the meeting room prepared, right? He's really accepted it in the spring, but now he's showing it, right? He's really confident, really focused on the daily task at hand, but also and being a really mature player off the field. That's the key. You know what I mean? The chance to work with Christian McCaffrey, you got to saw that. Guys like Mike Davis when we were at Carolina as well. You got to see how they prepared. And that's the biggest emphasis that Gabe has accepted since we've gotten here is that he's really took ownership of being a mature veteran player, which is hard to do when you haven't played a lot. So that's a really key point.
Is there, Coach Rowland, media days talked about you're going to run some power plays, you're going to run some zone plays. You guys are going to have a lot of variety as opposed to maybe a team that might run 3 or 4 running plays. How do you kind of coach the difference between how to run those plays?
Well, see, now you're trying to get me caught up here. So you're giving our playbook away. No, but the reality is, I think right now, you know, we're going to be, you know, we need to not be limited. Is what I would say. Is we want to make sure that we're prepared to have everything from an NFL standpoint, NFL style offense, right? Be able to be multiple, right? Be able to adapt and adjust with our personnel. So that's the emphasis right now, is not to focus on one particular run or be heavy on this run only. We want to make sure our guys have a great understanding of the whole menu, right? So that we can be able to adapt and adjust, you know, and get ready for this Big Ten play.
Do you guys have patience to like run in a zone scheme, like the kind of thing that you got to have that maybe isn't just running in the back of your lineman, but maybe having that half-second patience?
That's right. If you've been at practice, one of the key things we talk about in that position is training the eyes, right? Making sure that we're seeing the reads and being patient and understanding, right? That's the key. And I think it's, you know, the zone run is an expensive run, right? And you really have to work at it. That's been a big emphasis here. But you know, expensive run. You have to invest some time into teaching it, you know, because You may miss a read here and there, but eventually you'll get the read and gash the defense if the ball's going where it's supposed to be with the right timing. There's a lot of things that come with that, the mesh, right, the aiming points, all those things. So it's a very detailed run, but again, it's really every style, every run is that way. We need to make sure that our aiming points, our timing, all those things are matched up properly.
Does that go for both inside and outside zone?
Absolutely. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. I mean, everything is really about timing, aiming points, patience, and understanding where the ball's supposed to go.
Follow up on the fullback position. And are there really multiple positions there? Like when you look at your personnel and you have a guy like Lineman who plays that spot and then another guy like Bonner who plays that spot, are they really asked to do much of the same thing or interchangeable, or are you really looking at like multiple positions there for one umbrella?
Absolutely. That's what you're looking for at a fullback. You're looking for a fullback that can line up pretty much anywhere and be able to be, versatile. That's the word I'm looking for, right? So not just line up and block, but be able to catch out of the backfield, be able to line up in the slot, be able to run the ball at H. So there's multiple things that you need to do from the fullback position. We're not just talking about putting your hat down and blowing guys up. We're talking about really just being versatile, and that's what we're doing. I appreciate you guys. Take care.
That's good camp.
You got it.
Hopefully I answered some questions.
Hey, how are y'all?
How's it going, Marcus?
Oh, great. How are you? Hello, everybody. It's great, man. It's good to get back into the dorms for the first time since the early 90s. I think it's a good thing. It's great for staff unity and for camaraderie with the players. So a little bit old school, but I'm kind of liking it.
What have you seen from the offense through the first 4 practices here?
It's still early in the stages. I think the guys, what I've seen is I told them the other night, I appreciate the work they did in the summer. They made a huge jump in the summer just as a unit of knowing what to do, of how we do it. Leadership starting to step up at the top. I think they had a great summer. Our strength staff did an unbelievable job. The player run practices, I think you can tell it's a lot smoother transition, obviously, from the spring to the fall camp.
Who have you seen stepping up as a leader?
I'm not going to say. If you say names, you usually miss one. But just the usual suspects. We challenged Jeff in the summer to really start to make this his team, and I think he did a really nice job, amongst a lot of others.
How helpful has it been just with quarterback development? I mean, with the split practices and having a guy maybe in that second group, shell or whoever.
It's unbelievable for every position. I mean, there's kids that have gotten nearly 100 reps the first 4 practices. That in most places they're not getting 50 the whole time they're in camp. So it may not be pretty ball all the time, but it's guys out there getting to compete, and they're getting better with every single rep. And in the long run, it's going to help us.
Is that it? Are you guys wrapped now on the split squad, or will you go back tomorrow?
That's 100% coach role question.
At some point, though, you're obviously going to go to a full team practice. When you do that, how much do you think the reps that these young guys got or inexperienced guys got are going to benefit them and benefit you in knowing what they can do?
Yeah, well, we did a full team practice this morning, and Coach Osborne's been unbelievable. Coach Rule, not speaking for Coach Rule by any stretch of the imagination, but that was one of the things that Coach did really well. Everybody was moving on the field at the same time, and I think Coach has done a really nice job of just grinding a way of how we can do that. We don't have 190 players, obviously, but he's been very creative in making sure that if you were like a fly on the wall, you look out on the field, everyone on the field is doing something. And so even though we are together, everybody's still getting a lot of reps. Got a lot of reps today.
It's early, but what have you seen so far from some of your kind of summer arrival freshmen at the wide receiver position?
A lot of speed. A lot of speed. I mean, it's pretty impressive. They don't know what to do yet, obviously, but when they're just out there running routes, one-on-ones and stuff, they have a lot of speed.
Talking to Ben Scott later, what has he brought to the offensive line?
Just physicality, maturity, a guy that's played a lot of football, You know, he's been here since last Christmas or last spring, and so he's, you know, it feels like, I'm sure to him, he's been here his whole time. So I mean, that group is unbelievable. Like I've said before, just how close they are and the unit that they are. He's just made it just that much stronger.
How has Billy Kim stepped in? Has he stepped in, one of those guys that stepped into a leadership role for you?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he's just so super competitive. It's so important to him. He's so respected, and he doesn't really say anything. It's just how he works and how he competes. And I mean, his leg could be falling off, and you got to pull him off the field. I mean, he's one of the most competitive kids I've ever been around. So he's doing a really nice job right now of leading those young kids and, you know, tutoring those guys in the meeting rooms as well.
In your experience as an offensive coordinator, how often have incoming freshmen, summer freshmen, been able to kind of pick things up enough to help in the month of September, early in the season?
I mean, a handful maybe in the month of September, but I think, you know, you will see later on, like, you know, late in the latter parts of the season, where a kid develops and gets into a position where he can contribute, you know, in some phases of the game. Obviously, it's not unheard of. I mean, there's freshmen all over the place that come in and play early, and if those guys can learn what to do and play and match the physical elements that they need, then we'll put them in. We don't care how old they are, as long as they produce.
What are the qualities you're looking for in a lead running back as that competition shakes out? What are those qualities that you're looking for?
Being, you know, dependent, knowing what to do, dependent in pass protection, dependent catching the ball, dependent route running, dependent hitting your landmarks. Just a guy that we can depend on. Obviously, the physicality in which we play with, he needs to be able to, you know, be durable and get the ball downhill, run between the tackles. And I think it's going to take more than just one. It's going to take two or three, especially in this league, the way these guys play defense. You know, it's going to be a long year for a running back, as much as we're going to run it.
Is that sort of the preference, is to not have maybe one feature guy, but have two or three?
The preference is to have Bo Jackson, right? But, you know, there's not a lot of Bo Jacksons that are out there. So we've got, you know, a room full of really talented guys that do a lot of different things. You know, we don't want to be one of those teams that have 5 running backs that get 2 carries a game. We want some guys that have a role on our offense or in the offense. But, you know, it's going to take more than just one this year for us to be successful. I do, yeah. I mean, it's sick and tired of just talking, sick and tired of just hearing things. Like, we're just ready to go out there and work. And, you know, one of the things we talk about, just earning the right to go play against Minnesota, of how we work and how we practice in the preseason.
What kind of role do you expect the fullback to have this ball? Do you have, you know, a target number of carries you'd like to use them, or is that going to be more situational?
No target. I think there'll be, again, I'm not trying to have coach talk here, but there'll be certain games, certain defenses where they'll be utilized more, and there's some that, you know, maybe they're not don't have as big a role in that game, but it'll fluctuate. And, you know, it just depends on, you know, we have tight ends, we have fullbacks, like they both can do the same things for the most part. It's just that fullback, you know, in between the tackles can give you a little bit more of a vertical push at times. So we've got some young guys out there playing the position now, and it's fun to have a fullback on the field.
You said how much you're going to run how much you guys are hoping to run the ball this fall. Do you have a preference for how much you run versus pass?
No, it's just we have to be able to do it at a high level when needed. Like, we have to be able to run the ball in 4 minutes and run it well. We have to be able to run the ball in the red zone. You know, is that 60 times 60-40? Is it 70-30? I mean, it could be 30-70. You know, run to pass, and we're running it that well, getting 100, you know, 6 yards of carry. So, you know, different phases of the game are going to call for you to throw the ball and run the ball at a high level. We got to be able to do both whenever that time is needed.
Marcus, does it, following up on the fullback question, with adding Lineman as a transfer this summer, does it allow you more freedom with Bonner, who you obviously used there in the spring? Can you kind of use him more as a flex, as a tight end?
Yeah, and we said it when we first got here, like, we're a positionless offense. As funny as that sounds, like, you know, you might be called a tight end, but you might also line up at receiver, you might line up at fullback, you might line up at running back, you might line up at quarterback, who knows, right? Everybody has a certain skill set, and we'll come up with all these, you know, weird plays and stuff of how to attack defenses. And if a guy's skill set calls for him to be in line or offline or a receiver, then he'll do that. So, you know, those guys are good players, and we're going to get them out there on the field any way we can.
What have you seen from Lineman since he got here?
Just a smart, mature kid. I mean, you know, he's played a lot of college football at a really good place, and he's been coached very well. He's got a high football IQ. He can do multiple things, and he's been good so far.
What is Josh Martin brought to the mix as a full-time assistant with you guys?
Really pleased with Josh. I mean, he's coached tight ends at a high level, you know, at Arizona State, and then again at SMU. He's very confident. Like it's amazing. We've not had to meet with the tight ends. Me and Garrett thought going in, like, we'll kind of go back and forth in the pass game, and then Donnie could help in the run game, and he's been rolling. Like, he hit the ground running on Friday, learned everything in install 1, install 2, and has 1 or 2 questions a day. But I mean, those guys know what to do, know how to line up. They're playing at a high level. They're playing with confidence, and I think he's doing a really nice job.
Kind of like Nate Morgan, what kind of strides have you seen him take since you've got him?
He's, again, continues to get better. He had one of his better practices on practice 2, just running routes, stretching the field vertically, catching the football. I think he's very confident right now. I think he plays with a lot more confidence right now, and that's showing out there on the practice field.
All good, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
What's up? How y'all doing?
What's happening? Good.
How was today's practice?
Today's practice was good. You know, we starting to get in the mix of things with the pads and everything, starting to come together as a whole. But the goal is often just like we just got to keep on stacking days every day. You know, like Coach Rule said, you know, the goal is to make mistakes. So the next practice, you can, you know, improve on it, get better each and every day. But smooth practice. You know, I like the direction we're headed in.
One thing I've been meaning to ask some of the running backs is what's the offensive line in front of you look like at this fall camp compared to maybe in previous years?
Oh yeah, this offensive line, they're kind of like becoming veterans, you know, other than last few years where they were like young, but now they're, you know, seniors and older, you know, more disciplined. So I kind of like this O-line. I love this O-line actually. You know, I feel like those guys are willing to put those bodies on the line for their running backs, for whoever, you know, they're blocking for, and it's going to be a great season with them. Looking forward to running behind them.
How are you just feeling health-wise right now?
Well, I feel great. I feel great health-wise, you know, legs strong, upper body strong, you know, speed is there. You know, I'm just ready to showcase my talent in the fall, ready to go to work.
Hey, what kind of work did you have on your body composition in terms of weight that you had? How did you try to kind of shape yourself in the offseason?
Off-season, you know, just hit the weights and focus on things I need to work on, and that was strength. You know, just get the upper body right, get the lower body right, and just like, you know, try to put it on. You know, I did a great job doing it. Just got to keep on, you know, being consistent with it, you know, eating, because like fall camp, you lose a lot of weight, you know, but you got to keep it on. So it's been pretty good.
Did you add weight from last year or lose weight?
Oh, I added a lot of weight. I added like probably last year I was like 212. Now I'm like 223, 225. So I added some weight.
Does that change how you run?
Oh, no, I feel like I'm more powerful. So that's good.
How'd you go about that? You focus on like adding protein, different weight regimen. Like how'd you go about that?
Just eating consistently. It's really eating and lifting. You know, you got to eat and lift. Really, after you lift, you got to eat a lot. So I was just like on a different program to get my weight right, and it was really good. You know, just like eating, lifting, working out. So yeah, I guess it's just like developing because I'm a junior now. So the years, you know, coming up, just developing to this like frame. I like it.
New recipes that you're trying out?
New recipes, you know. I mean, I'm kind of just like an eat guy. I just eat. You feel me? Like, I mean, fast food. I mean, Christians does a great job just trying to like keep my diet right. You know, eating the right things. But you know, I'm a guy just like I like to eat.
There's been a lot of attention on the physical aspect of like the transition, the changes that you've made, but like mentally, every time I talk to you, just you feel like you have like a better sense of your own confidence, and you just feel like more comfortable in your own skin. What can you kind of attribute that to, especially knowing that you're going to be junior and like you've had some hardships to get here?
Well, you know, as a freshman, you know, I came here as a mature young freshman. You know, I just developed that over the years just to become, you know, that guy, you know, that leader in the room. Just like I have to have the standard, you know, in the room. You know, I want to lead those guys in the right direction. So I got to approach myself different. You know, I got to be the standard. So you know, it's been a good throughout this whole fall camp. You know, ready to just keep on pushing, keep on stacking days. It's gonna be good for, you know, Minnesota game 1. It's gonna be good.
You got a taste of it in the spring, but
What's it like to run in a set where you've got a fullback?
Oh, I love it, man. It reminded me of high school. In high school, had a fullback, running downhill. So it's like second nature for me, doing it in college. But I love that fullback extra blocker, so they can get up on the second level and I can get on, the DBs really quickly. So it's gonna be fun having that fullback in the eye. It's gonna be really.
Take a different kind of patience from the running back to the tailback. You need to follow him through the holes. I mean, you don't want to run up the back of the blocker, obviously.
Oh yeah. I mean, just like read it. The fullback gets a block on the mic, read it, and then go on to safety, make a move. So it's going to be good with a fullback. It's going to be really good with a fullback. I like our fullbacks. Our fullbacks is good. Bear's a really good fullback. Running behind him, it's going to be good, man. He's 235, I'm 225, so it's going to be a show.
Dave, do you feel like you guys are pushing each other well in the running back room for kind of those snaps?
Oh yeah, man, we down out there just pushing each other. One person do this, we try to do better than that person. So I mean, it's all just making us better. Each and every day making us better as a group, as a whole. We're just trying to keep on stacking days as a running back room, try to get 1% better. And our running backs, I love our running backs. We fight each and every day, and it's just gonna make us the best running back room in the country.
Are you like when you're a running back, when you hear a committee approach at that position, are you okay with that, or would you prefer? No, I want to be the guy.
No, I want to be the guy. No, I really want to be the guy. But we have running backs that, Coach Rule is going to, rotate all of us. It's going to be like, 1, 2, 1, 3, So they're going to keep on coming. Coach Rule talks about relentless. We're going to be a relentless running back room. Like, they're not going to only not be able to stop me. They're not going to only be able to stop Ramir Johnson, Anthony Grant, Emmett Johnson. We all got it. So that's what's going to make the difference in our running back room. We're going to be so relentless. Last year I wasn't really all the way there. I mean, my knee was okay, but then something started overcompensating with my toe, and it just wasn't really already there. It just wasn't already there. But now I'm fully healthy, and I thank God for it, man. I thank God for it because everything feels good. I'm just I'm so grateful to be out there because I know how it is when you're not out there. So I take every day, I don't take every day for granted. I just try to strive each and every day, try to get 1% better. I keep on saying 1% better. That's what Coach Rule will be drilling in your brain. But, yeah, we got to get 1% better. But it's going to be good.
When did you feel 100%?
Felt 100% after the season of last year, going into winter conditioning. That's where I really started putting in the weights, really started putting in the speed work, all that nutrition, protein. That's when everything started to, get elevated after the season last year.
When Matt Rule says that he wants to rush for 75 yards in the fourth quarter and have you be the hammer, I think he said that in spring ball. What's that mean to you?
I mean, you got to rise to the occasion. That's what this practice goes to. You got to take every day of this practice like it's a game. So with Minnesota in this fourth quarter, and I got to go down in there, it'll be easy for me. It's just nothing new. You just got to go to work.
How has Coach Barthel made you a better running back?
Coach EJ Barthel, he brought that line mentality to me. I already had it, but I love that dude, man. He really cares about me, not only on the field, but off the field. There's really family between me and him, and that's what, makes me just want to just lay it all on the line for him. It's really family. It's more than just a coach. That's my, if I need to go to him, if I need help, I can go to him. So just that relationship that we had with me and EJ Barthel has just been great. I love that dude, man. It's probably the best coach I had in college, to be honest. Oh yeah, Anthony Grant, still Anthony Grant. Me and Anthony Grant came from the same high school. We got coached by the same high school coach. So me and AG go way back, so we know how it is to work, go down in there. We know how it is, to run that rock. So me and him back there, it's gonna be really good. I'm excited. I'm really excited, man. It's his last year. Really excited to go to work with him.
All good, guys?
Good. Appreciate y'all.
having a lion mentality. What does he talk about with you guys about what that means, and how do you maybe process that?
For us in our room, a lion mentality is like just being dominant, almost up on the field at all phases, catching the ball, running the ball, blocking. So it's just like being dominant on the field as like a running back group.
You've been through your share at camps here. Anything you'd cite that's a little different or that feels different about this one?
I mean, of course, we got new staff, new everything, so it's going to be a little bit different. But, same grind, same hard work. I like some of the periods we'll be doing. I think it's more beneficial to the team, I'll say. But, it's fall camp, can't really change that.
What's it been like sort of getting in a lab with Coach Barthel, who you knew back in the day, and now you've worked with him a full offseason? What's that been like, that interaction?
It's been really good. Coach Eater's been a really good dude. I knew him back in the day, and he just brings a lot of energy. He brings a lot of energy out of us as a group, and I just love playing for him, honestly.
What was the offseason like for you? Was there any specific training that you wanted to do, any physical changes that you wanted to make?
Just for me, just to gain some weight. That was like the main thing. Just being more agile, I guess, like focusing on my eyes on the backfield. But as far as like physical standpoint, just gaining weight.
How much you got?
About like 5 pounds. About 5 pounds, I would say.
Your coaches have always praised you as being fearless, running in between the tackles, even though you're not the largest guy. How much will that extra weight maybe help? Just the wear and tear on the 12th carry of a game versus maybe last year, or even when you were a true freshman.
It's definitely gonna help. I remember 2 years ago, I started off. I guess the Oklahoma game, I was about 190, and I felt kind of strong in between tackle wise. So this year, come back to 190 again, I feel like I'm gonna be a lot more stronger, a lot more ground and pound. And people would say, yeah, I'm a lot smaller, but like I've been running between the tackles all my life, so I'm not really like that. That don't really faze me. I just I play football out there. Honestly, I'm a running back, so I gotta do what I gotta do.
Is that part of your game that you want to show how your game by adding weight and showing people that you're not just kind of a scat person out there?
I mean, yeah, I say so. I'm just trying to do everything. I'm trying to put everything together this year. I'm trying to show the hands, try to show, the running, power. I'm just trying to put it all together this year, I'll say.
Mixing wide receiver in some or no?
Yeah, a little bit of that too.
How do you divvy up the reps? Is it 50-50 or?
Coach might say, hey, we want you at slot right here, play slot. Hey, coach, we want you at running back. So it's just like back and forth here and there.
What has Coach Barthel told you guys about, here are the things that are going to separate one from two and two from three? Because at the end of the day, you guys all want to have success, but only one guy's going to start. So what has he told you about how to separate yourself from the pack?
Honestly, he hasn't really talked about like how to separate. He just said like just go out there and do what you got to do, but motivate each other. So if one person having a good play, let that motivate you to have a good play the next time, and just kind of like catapult off that kind of in a sense, I'll say.
Who's the most competitive person out there, both like the one that's most fiery in your room?
Probably say Gabe Irvin. Gabe. I'm more of a quiet guy, so I kind of do things on the side, but he's more of the out guy, I'll say so.
Who do you get paired with in the room?
Roman Mangini,
Yeah.
receiver.
How's that been going? Just mixing guys up.
Oh no, see, I'm kind of cool with everybody on the team, so it's like it wasn't really a big deal. So I was just like, I wasn't really worried about that. Was it
nice to have another running back from New Jersey here?
Yes. They can relate, and I can talk to things about it, like music-wise, food, and all that stuff, etc. And like high schools and teams we played against. So yeah, it's.
What do you think of him? I mean, he's tall. He looks like a receiver, even though I know they want to play him running back.
Nah, Quentin, bro, he's gonna be good. He got some nice feet, nice eyes. He's still a younger freshman. I was the same way when I first got in, but he's gonna be a good player for this team. Good player.
Barthel mentioned leaving trade. He was talking about some of those fullbacks. What do you see working with them?
Yeah, even him. Yeah, he's good too. So he was at Notre Dame. He was there with a lot of my guys I went to school with and like played against. So he's a tough dude, man. Like he got the physique. He's smart, aggressive. He's gonna be a good dude. He's like the true, ideal fullback, I would say.
Did he fit in right away?
Yeah, 100%.
What's it like, Ramir, to be a tailback when you
change your system so that you have that fullback in front of you, and you haven't for the last 3 or 4 years? Does it cause you to have to approach things differently with your running style?
Like again, like I started off with the I formation like back in the day, so like I'm kind of used to it. But as far as like right now in today's game, like a little bit gotta be more patient. You know, if you gotta read this blocks and like if he goes this way, okay, you gotta set it up and go that way. So it's kind of different, but I'm adaptable guy, so I just know how to just adapt on the fly, I'll say.
Has Coach Satterfield showed you any of his previous teams that he's coached and give you a sense of what your goals going to be, how you're going to utilize?
Yeah, he showed some film of like when he was at South Carolina and like some of the plays they ran. I even talked to Coach Sat when we was on break about putting in the play that I wanted to put in, and he actually did do that. So, he's been showing some film and showing some plays of like what he wanted me to do and how he wanted to use me as far as like as the season goes and stuff like that. So.
Are you a running back or receiver?
Running back.
Anything else for Ramirez?
Thank you.
What was the offseason kind of like for you? Was there any type of training that you're really focused on? Any type of physical changes you wanted to make? How that just kind of go?
Yeah, I think this offseason I was really focused on like leaning my body out, but also like increasing my weight because I played last season pretty light, so I wanted to increase my weight, but also stay lean and keep my body fat down. And also like in the weight room, just getting stronger and more explosive is basically what I was focusing on.
And now, I mean, physically, you feel a lot better as a result of that?
Yeah, I feel a lot better, especially with like the weight room can only take you so far. Like with technique is like what really makes you feel good on the field is what I think.
Have you felt like you've had enough reps now through the offseason where you're starting to mesh with some of those other interior guys and play off each other well?
Yeah, I think our chemistry and our communication and playing next to each other is really taking a big jump this fall camp. Doing all the drills and stuff, we're really just like focusing on technique. And then now that we're in fall camp, we have to work together as a unit during those team periods. And I think, yeah, we taken a big jump through this fall camp.
Everybody always says, I think Coach Rule said this is like one of the tightest leadership groups he's seen coaching. You have an interesting perspective as someone who just came in. What do you make of that? Do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a standard. And they brought me in, and they had that standard set, and I just had to meet it. And now we're just building the standard higher and higher every day. And, like if guys can't meet it, then they can't play here.
What can you bring? This is obviously a pretty intact line. You're kind of the newcomer. What can you bring coming from a different program, having a different perspective?
I feel like we've all played a lot of ball, seen a lot of stuff. So, I mean, myself, Piper, Nuri, Turner, Bryce, we've all seen like different blitzes and stuff. We all had so many different calls for things and different calls for blocks. And I think it's kind of just like putting all of our brains together and kind of just like figuring out what we're going to call it, how we're going to block this, and like blocking it the best way that we want to block it.
What made you decide this offseason you wanted to play?
Last season I was pretty light, and also like last season I played against nose tackles that were 245 pounds, which I'm not going to see this season. So I mean, getting my weight up and being a leaner body was kind of like my focus.
Can you feel a difference in these first couple days?
Oh yeah, I can. I feel a lot better.
What are you at now, and what were you at?
I'm at about 310 right now, and last season I think ended at like 295.
Are you looking forward to, Big Ten is sort of known for in October you got to up front and into the trenches league. Does that kind of fire you up to be a part of that now?
Oh yeah, because we're building that every day. Like we have those 9-on-7 periods where like we're treating it like 4th and 1. The defense is lined up tight as they can, and they're firing out the ball, and we're firing out the ball, and that's how you win games out here. And 4th and 1 is a crucial down, and that almost every day we're doing 9-on-7 period just to work on like our mentality and our pad leverage and all that stuff.
you
That's
like
short yardage.
Yep, short yardage.
you like that? You know, this is an offense with a fullback, and like Lineman was coming up, and they were bringing him up earlier in interviews. You like that aspect of it too?
Oh yeah, he came in here and he's working his butt off. You know, it's good to see a fullback leading the way for the running back, and then it gives the O-line better leverage on the plays, and you know, helps out a lot.
You mentioned the chemistry earlier. Where would you, I guess, what's the process of building that, and where would you like it to be at times of the season begins?
I mean, we're just working together every day. I mean, every team period, we're always having combo blocks, double teams, all this stuff. So, you know, it's just a chemistry, and like, if we see blitz or pressure, you know, we have to communicate that all the way back to the other side of the line, and that's like crucial because we have to echo the message down. So, you know, just building that chemistry when we see something, say it, relay the message, and then those combo blocks are crucial too.
And you've seen several, or I guess a couple of preseason camps now. How is this one starting out to be a little bit different from the previous?
I've never stayed in the dorms for fall camp, so it's a little new. But you know, like Coach Rule was telling us today, don't try to get through it. You know, embrace being in the dorms, embrace this hard fall camp that we're going through, and when it's over, it's gonna be that much sweeter to go back to your bed, having that little bit more time to sleep in, because we ain't walking back to the dorms in the morning. So, you know, but yeah, all jokes aside, you know, it's gonna be good going through this fall camp, and then right after this, we're basically just in season mode. So we're gonna be focusing a lot more on other teams than our own teammates. So right now it's really just mentality, just like battling each other. You know, yeah, it's been fun.
Even being new to this program, you have history and connections to Nebraska, of course. How has that informed you about like the lineage of Nebraska offensive linemen and what it means to be an offensive lineman in this program?
Oh, you know, we were saying the other day that the O-line is the ones that are going to set the standard for the team. And, you know, like we got to be like that group that's going to tell everyone like, hey, pick it up, or like, hey, come on, like we got to go, or like, you know, like the O-line has always been like hard nosed, run the ball, like we got to be the leaders on the team, and we got to be the ones that are going to set the tone during the game. So.
Is that something you had an understanding of long before you got into the program?
Not too much. You know, like my family, they've followed Nebraska a long time, but they didn't really talk about the O-line specifically. But as soon as I got here, you know, the pipeline was what everyone was talking about, you know.
Does that message of the O-line set the tone for the program, does that come from Rule or does it come from Donovan?
I think both. Yeah. I probably Coach Donnie, because, you know, Coach Donnie, he wants us to set the standard, set the tone for the games. You know, like he wants everyone to see us working as hard as we are, firing up the ball as hard as we are, and they're like, okay, we got to go.
Coach, Sat's offense is known as being pretty complex, and I believe you're going to be called upon to set protections, slide protections. So how much of a challenge has it been sort of mashing that role and getting used to the complexity and stuff in offense?
Yeah, I mean, calling the slides, calling the pass protection slides, you know, you just got to keep your eyes up and like see the linebackers creeping up, and sometimes, like, you know, especially in our defense that we're going against right now, they're always messing with your eyes, and they'll like walk one guy up and send them the other way and all this stuff. And so, you know, it's been a good challenge picking up their blitzes right now. I mean, they haven't really been blitzing too heavy yet, but you know, it's gonna come, and in a little bit, I can guarantee it.
You're practicing against that 3-5. I mean, how do you think that would help prepare you for the rest of the Big Ten season?
Oh, this is gonna be the hardest defense we ever go against, complex-wise, for sure. Because, you know, no other team really in the Big Ten has a defense like it. You know, it's gonna be good to go against these guys all fall, and then when we work on Minnesota and they run that 4-2, we're gonna be like, geez, this is just 4-2 the whole game. So it's gonna be nice.
Ben, you mentioned Barrett before. I think with the emphasis on fullbacks and the physicality, what kind of confidence does that give you as an offensive lineman to know, like, you've got, you know, pulling guys and you've got some physicality behind you?
I think as O-line, we're just there to do our jobs. Like, I'll point the fullback, I'll be like, hey, like you're going there, but the O-line, we still have to do our job, you know. like we'll still be on our double teams going to other backers, and the fullback's leading for the running back. So we don't really even see him. He's doing his own thing. He's leading for the running back. So all lines, we just going out there and doing our job.
Anything else for Ben? Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Nate Horford there, and that'll be our last player.
Wow, a lot of cameras.
And Nate, what's the biggest thing you wanted to, I guess, make a jump on this fall from where you were?
Right now, we've been doing a lot of footwork. I think that's kind of most important thing, and that's a little thing that will build up to big things and making better blocks.
How much more confident are you in this camp compared to past ones, just with the playing experience under your belt and everything you've experienced at this point in Nebraska?
Yeah, a lot. I have a lot of confidence. We got guys in the room that are good, and it's iron sharpens iron, and I think that helps with confidence a lot.
I don't know that we've talked to you since you were awarded a scholarship in the offseason. Congrats on that. But
Appreciate it.
what did that mean to you, and what does that kind of do for your mindset?
Means the world to me. Being a Nebraska boy, a walk-on, you just come in, and the goal is to outwork everybody being a walk-on for Nebraska. For my mindset, it stays the same, nothing different. Can't change that up.
When did you know, sorry, kind of going back a little bit, but when did you first know I can play here, I can be a guy that could get a scholarship and do that sort of stuff?
Yeah, that dates back all the way to the last staff. I had a lot of guys in the room that helped me out and taught me a lot. That being like Jack Stoll, Travis Vokalek, Austin Allen. Those guys really gave me a lot of confidence, and they showed me techniques and ways to be better at the game.
You're probably never going to be the guy whose name just like rolls off the tongue of fans when they talk about the tight ends. When you got guys like Fedoni and Gilbert in that room. Are you okay kind of being that overlooked guy at times if that's what it is during your career?
Yeah, that's kind of what you expect coming in as a walk-on. It doesn't change anything. You go out there and you practice and play the same way. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Does it motivate you that you don't have the notoriety of some of your teammates?
I would say yeah. I got a pretty competitive mentality, but I don't look at my teammates any differently or anything like that. But it's a little bit of a motivator.
How do you think this dorm thing's going well? You feel like it's a good idea?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it sucks, and what we talked about today is you got to embrace the suck, and you do hard things, and that'll make you better when you get to games and stuff like that. So, honestly, we don't spend a ton of time there anyway. But yeah, it's good to embrace. I think we've all embraced it pretty well, and I think it's been good for us as a bonding tool to come closer as a team.
Who's your roommate?
My roommate is Cooper Wilson. He's a freshman DB.
How tough has the last week been to get a new position coach and kind of going through that training?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Martin came in, is doing a really good job. He's been a tight end coach pretty much all of his career, and he brings a lot of knowledge and a lot of energy, and he's really helped our room out a lot already.
How did you, I guess, know him? You kind of came as a special teams analyst, I think, at first, but before he was moved to that position.
Yeah, I mean, it was a walk through the hallway, say, hi, Coach Martin, and he'd say, hi, Bork. But other than that, really not much more than that. But we've already grown pretty close very quickly.
Can you tell, is there a big difference in his teaching style compared to Wager?
I mean, yeah, Coach Martin's, we're early into the camp. We've worked a lot of footwork recently, and I think that's a big thing for us. A little sloppy right now, and that's going to happen everywhere, every beginning of fall camp. It just takes time, and we're starting to clean things like that up.
What was his message to you guys as a group just when he came in and kind of took that spot?
One of the first things he said was that he stayed ready so he didn't have to get ready. He's a tight end coach at heart, and he just really wants the best for us.
Coach Satterfield keeps describing a positionless offense. How versatile is he expecting you guys to be as tight ends?
Versatility is a main thing we harp on in the tight end room. We're going to have a lot of tight ends playing, 2 or 3 at a time. And it's important for us to be able to go out there and do many things, run routes and block really well.
Is your change physically, physical shape? How much bigger are you than coming out last season?
I think, this goes back to Coach Campbell and the weight staff. I think they're doing a really good job. I'm up to 245-ish. It varies a lot, but the goal is to stay around there for season. And Coach Campbell has done a really good job of getting the team right physically so we can go out there and perform.
Where did you play last year?
I played a little bit under 240.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, guys.